What the heck? It feels like someone's trolling us today. Tesla stock is actually green by about 2%. Now, there are a couple specific reasons why Tesla stock is likely up today. We did get this pretty epic news that Tesla's FSD beta is set for the European launch following regulatory changes, which this is something a lot of people have been waiting for a long time now. FSD has been available for purchase in Europe basically ever since FSD was launched to begin with, but it just hasn't been able to be used. So there's a lot of people waiting to use their FSD that they have bought, and there's a lot of people that are waiting to buy FSD that have not bought it already, because why buy something that you can't use? This, I do think, is a very much positive catalyst for Tesla stock and something that is really not priced into the stock today. We have also been waiting for FSD to launch in China, and that should happen at some point in 2024. Another big, potentially upside catalyst for Tesla stock. Here on the day today, Tesla stock is back above this longer term support level dating back to when Elon was selling a bunch of Tesla stock. And you've seen that first initial gap up, a gap up above that 150 level. This was an 11% day back on January 26th. So we're looking at the pre-gap up level connecting the lows, I guess, from there, and you've respected this heavily ever since. This trend line has been reinforced multiple times again. And what happened? Well, even now, you're back above that line after showing a lot of support and respect there yesterday. You did fall again to about 173 in the beginning of the trading day, and now you're going to close above that. That's great news for the bulls or for anyone that really wants to see Tesla stock go higher from here. The big problem that we are seeing with Tesla stock as of lately is estimates continue to fall. People are getting more and more negative on Tesla stock in 2024. Even Adam Jonas expects Tesla could only bring in $86 million of free cash flow for this whole year. For context, last year Tesla brought in $4.3 billion of free cash flow. So that would be a huge drop. I do think to one point in the near term, that's negative, right? As estimates go lower, but as we get deeper into 2024 and Tesla proves everyone wrong, well, maybe the estimates are too low at this point in time. Then that does turn into a positive catalyst for Tesla stock. The other reason why Tesla stock is up almost 2% today is because we had Fed Jerome Powell. Now, Fed Jerome Powell was testifying in front of the Senate, and he sounded pretty dang bullish today. The Senate members were calling on Powell to start cutting rates. And one thing in particular that really sent the markets higher, that started this reversal in Tesla stock and started to send Tesla stock higher, was Jerome Powell said, "We are very restrictive." That's something we have not heard before. Very restrictive. There's been a lot of questioning as of lately if we're restrictive at all, if the neutral rate has risen, and Powell says we're so restrictive we can start cutting rates in 2024. And that's kind of a change of tone, a change of language. The markets definitely picked up on that, and Tesla stock did start to perform better when Powell said that. Now, despite this 2% rise today in Tesla stock, you are seeing your cost to borrow fees about 8.6%, which suggests there's a lot of shorting activity still taking place in Tesla. And I mean, if we didn't have that, just imagine where Tesla would be. Once the sentiment does start to change and people start to realize the AI potential that Tesla has and the real earnings power that Tesla will have over the next couple of years, while that shorting activity will die down, inevitably shorts will get squeezed out of their short positions. And I still do think by the end of 2024, Tesla stock will be significantly higher than where it is today. You currently have 3.21% short interest of free float, with $15.63 billion sold short in Tesla stock. We do have some earnings coming out right at about the time you are watching this video, with Broadcom, Costco, Marvell, MongoDB, DocuSign, Samsara, Petrobras, Big Bear AI, Gap, and Runway, with Broadcom, Marvell, and Big Bear AI, as well as MongoDB to a lesser extent, being some of your high-flying AI trades, specifically Broadcom seen as number 2 right behind NVIDIA. If either of these companies, these 3 companies, really have bad earnings or maybe even meet expectations, but their stocks fall, that could actually be a big catalyst for Tesla stock to the upside. You have to remember that in this market, you've seen NVIDIA go up, 200 or so, 270 billion roughly in market cap value the day after their earnings. And now NVIDIA is about $200 higher than that today. There has been hundreds of billions of dollars added to Broadcom, NVIDIA, SMCI, AMD, Intel, Dell, all of these companies and their market caps, whereas there's really not a lot of inflows to our markets. So the money has been sucked out of Tesla specifically. Tesla is like number 1. It's getting suffocated by the AI trade, but also even Google and Apple, your small and mid-cap stocks, and that money has left those areas and it's went into other areas like your semiconductors and your AI stocks. If you see a little bit of a pullback there, you could actually get a broadening out of our markets, and Tesla stock could start to do a lot better. So today in after hours, that could be a pretty big catalyst for Tesla stock and the rest of the markets, and we'll cover that in the video later on tonight, how those earnings came out and what happened with those stocks. In other Tesla news, Tesla quits the Australian Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries over claims the group deceived customers on CO2 scheme. We are now seeing a chrome red Cybertruck. And here is a new video put out from Tesla. Tesla climbing this Devil's Hill. It looks like Arizona. I'm not sure exactly where this is. We can check in just a second, but that's pretty steep of an incline there, and the Cybertruck handles it like it's not even a problem at all. That's pretty dang impressive, if I say so myself. Kind of scary though. You gotta be a little scared doing this. I'm sure a lot of vehicles have fallen straight off of this. It's called Hill's Revenge. Yeah, probably a very accurate name for that. Tesla's battery supplier Panasonic Energy is weighing additional investments in Arkansas. The plan includes building additional production lines. The main customer for the additional batteries would likely be its key client, Tesla. Tesla informed Build that complicated repairs to the power line damaged during the arson attack against Giga Berlin are causing a prolonged production halt. Giga Berlin's plant manager estimates the damages are now in the 3-digit million range. So over $100 million. If you are curious what that arson attack looked like, it is this, one of those big towers. Tesla is now allowing more people to actually sit inside of the Cybertruck and explore the Cybertruck internally inside of these Tesla showrooms. Rivian has unveiled the R2, their next-gen smaller and lower cost vehicle. Apparently in the R2, all of the seats fold down, like even the driver's seat, which I find strange. Rivian says the R2 starting price will be about $45,000. This vehicle is expected to start deliveries in the first half of 2026. And hopefully by then we have the Model 2, the next gen vehicle, the lower price, call it $25,000 Tesla, that is also making deliveries at the time. And it just seems like, you really have to have a strong brand. Rivian definitely has a strong brand that they are building, but it's going to be hard for anyone to compete with Tesla on the lower priced EVs. Rivian has also announced they're halting construction of their Georgia auto plant to save $2.25 billion. So yeah, that cash burn is definitely starting to catch up with them. to some degree. Tesla Chan on X says, in early March, subsidizing Tesla vehicles led to a huge increase in orders. Delivery centers are crowded and getting a lot of attention. You won't have to worry about March sales in China. And everyone was kind of freaking out about February sales because the Lunar New Year really messed things up. January was fantastic. February, not so much. Still not that bad. I mean, in kind of contrast to BYD's EV sales were down 40% year over year. Tesla's were down 19% year over year. That's still a pretty rough number, but March could come in really strong. Tesla China is posting more job openings to increase its delivery team and staff in several fields. On March 5th, OpenAI wrote this post that says, we are dedicated to the OpenAI mission and have pursued it every step of the way. We're sharing some facts about our relationship with Elon, and we intend to move to dismiss all of his claims. Elon says, change your name. Yeah, because it's definitely not OpenAI. Elon says, change your name to Closed AI and I will drop the lawsuit. How could you not like Elon? I mean, how does he get so much hate? I mean, come on. I mean, you really have to question why people hate Elon so much. I mean, how could you literally hate that? Nonetheless, here on the day today over on StockTwits, people are feeling a lot more bullish about Tesla. Yesterday, you had sentiment at 36, which was bearish. Now it's at 63, which is categorized as bullish. Message volume is also increasing. Yesterday was at 64. Today it is at 67. And the participation ratio is at 55, which is back on the high side. So more people talking about Tesla, more messages going through, and overall sentiment is better today. That's great. But I do want to remind you, as the S&P 500 hit a new all-time high yet again today, there has been very little downside volatility. If Broadcom or Marvell or some of these other stocks here today and after hours give you bad AI news, that could really send the algorithms into a selling frenzy of your other AI stocks and could give the market some downside here. If the markets do get downside here, I don't think Tesla stock will be immune. And if there is something that's going to push Tesla stock even lower, it's probably going to be a broader market pullback, a broader market reset, a correction, whatever terminology you want to use. I do think, really long story short, you're vulnerable for a pullback here. Tomorrow morning, we are also going to get non-farm payrolls as well as the unemployment rate, and that could also give the markets a large downside move or potentially upside move. We'll talk about that in the next video. Markets are currently pricing in 1, 2, 3, 4 rate cuts for 2024. We have had multiple Fed speakers come out in recent days vouching for 1 or 2 rate cuts in 2024. I want to remind you guys that coming at the next Fed meeting on March 20th, we're going to get a summary of economic projection. And yeah, those estimates may change. We might go from the last summary of economic projections back in December from 2 to 3 rate cuts in 2024. That's what the Fed was projecting, to 1 to 2 rate cuts in 2024. And that could be another cause for concern in our markets. Also, you have the SoftBank ARM lockup period coming next week, which that's not going to end well. So that could also give the markets a bit of a pullback. And we will also go over that in the next video as well. Google Trends activity continues to show very strong search trends for the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck recently going from 30 now to 34. Come on, man. This is not priced into Tesla stock at all, that the Cybertruck halo effect will have any effect on Tesla deliveries or the Tesla brand. That's a big jump from 30 to 34. I mean, this is what I would call organic search trend activity. This search trend activity in the Cybertruck is not based on investors in Tesla anymore, right? That's what we used to see. Now, the Cybertruck's starting to go mainstream. The Model Y went from 35 to 37, so an uptick there, as well as the Model 3 going from 38 to 39. So across the board, you're seeing an uptrend in search trend activity for the entire Tesla lineup. Even the Model X went from 9 to 12, which 12 is the highest search trend activity you have seen in the Model X since back here in September of 2023. It's hard to deny that the Cybertruck is having a positive effect on Tesla's business, at least from the data that we can see here. Tesla's global inventory numbers are falling for the Model Y, which makes sense considering Giga Berlin is shut down and they are not producing vehicles. This would actually be good to see some inventory rundown here. So I think that's probably a net positive, but it might cost Tesla quite a bit to not be running the factory in Germany. So we'll have to wait and see there. Model X inventories have recently spiked, but are starting to fall again, down to about 2,100. Model 3 and Model X S inventories are down here at about 1,200, 1,300 or so, which is still at very low levels. We did get a new AI investor sentiment survey that just came out. 51.7% of investors are bullish. That is the highest number we have seen so far in 2024. That is almost your 1-year bullish high. This was set back on December 20th, 2023, and pretty interesting because at that time, about 85% or so of stocks were above their 50-day moving average. Today, only 56% of stocks are above their 50-day moving average. So then you had a much broader rally going on in the markets. So you're almost more bullish now than you were then, which is kind of crazy. Neutral investors have been dropping pretty much every single week, now down to 26.5% of investors that are neutral. Bearish investors now at 21.8%, which is a little bit higher than last week, but still at very low levels. Tesla continues to run about 3,000 different ads with Google. Option activity today in Tesla stock is quite positive. Positive order value of 65%. These are orders from hedge funds and institutions. You have seen 506 different trades, totaling $478.3 million. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your biggest news stories and events that are taking place today with Tesla stock and the broader markets, all of the data that you need to know. We have a lot more to discuss in the next video, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. That video is going to come out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about the biggest upcoming catalyst for our markets, for Tesla stock to the upside potentially, or to the downside. So you really do not want to miss that video. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to come trade with us, check out that link down below in the description of this video, as well as go ahead and follow the X account. It is Michael Tyler over there. And yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.